Hello Detroit Lions fans. Welcome to the channel and this great update. Before suffering a serious ACL injury, Hendon Hooker was at the peak of his college career at Tennessee. His name was in the spotlight in the race for the Heisman Trophy, and he was considered a possible top draft pick. However, the Detroit Lions decided to select him in the third round of the 2023 draft, 68th overall, even though they knew he had a long road of recovery and development ahead of him. Now, with half of his rookie contract completed and few opportunities to play, Hooker's future in Detroit seems uncertain. In this scenario, the possibility of a trade arises, and 5 teams stand out as potential interested parties. Before continuing, leave a like to support this video. It costs nothing and helps us a lot. We have a goal of reaching 2,000 subscribers here on the channel. So help us out with your humble like, and if you are new here, take the opportunity to subscribe. Thank you. The Tennessee Titans are a natural fit for Hooker, given his strong ties to the state and his college career history. While Will Levis has been tested as a quarterback solution, he has not shown signs of being the definitive answer. With the #1 overall pick in the upcoming draft, the Titans will likely look to bolster other areas of the roster. A Hooker trade would create little financial pressure and could provide the team with a midterm solution while they evaluate other options. The low cost of a conditional day 3 pick makes this a compelling trade. For the Titans, bringing Hooker into the mix adds depth at the position and a potential answer for the future without any major risks involved. The Saints are experiencing a period of instability in their offensive line. Derek Carr, who was signed as the quarterback solution, has not performed as expected. Even if Carr remains on the roster, the team needs to look to the future and identify who can take over the reins in the coming years. The team's ongoing financial problems make adding more affordable players a priority. Hendon Hooker, on a rookie contract, fits that bill perfectly. Additionally, Hooker's style of play could be exploited in a revamped system under a potential new head coach, such as Kellen Moore, if he is hired. With a late-round pick, the Saints would have the opportunity to develop a quarterback with potential without a major impact on the salary cap. The Cowboys have already shown that they are willing to take a chance on young quarterbacks with potential. The trade for Trey Lance for a 4th-round pick is proof of that. However, even with Lance on the roster, Dallas has opted for Cooper Rush as a backup to Dak Prescott when needed, which raises questions about the team's confidence in its current options. With Hooker, the Cowboys would have another piece to add to the internal competition at the position. Jerry Jones, always looking for bold moves, could be one of the few general managers willing to pay more than necessary to acquire Hooker. For the Lions, this would be an opportunity to maximize the return on a potential trade, especially if initiated proactively. The Raiders face critical questions at quarterback. Under new head coach Pete Carroll, the team needs a clear solution for both the short and long term. Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew don't seem like the ideal answers, and the team will likely look to find a quarterback in the upcoming draft. However, adding Hooker to the mix would be a smart move. With little risk involved, the Raiders could test the young player and assess his potential in a new environment. While former Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has opted to move on to a new head coaching destination, the Lions' connection to the Raiders could still make it easier to make a trade. The Jets situation is perhaps the most interesting on this list. With Aaron Rodgers in limbo about his future with the team needs to prepare for all possibilities. Additionally, the arrival of Aaron Glenn as head coach has brought a strong connection with former Lions staff members. Glenn is already shaping his coaching staff with names like Steve Hyden and Tanner Engstrand, which could make it easier for Hooker to adapt in New York. The Jets need to reconfigure their quarterback core, and with Hooker's affordability, he could be a valuable piece to that rebuild. Additionally, the Jets' offensive system could be shaped to maximize the young quarterback skills. Hendon Hooker still has a promising future ahead of him, but his time with the Lions seems limited due to a lack of opportunities and the team's unclear direction with Jared Goff at the helm. For Detroit, trading Hooker now would be a way to get some return before his value drops even further. As for the aforementioned teams, the possibility of acquiring a quarterback with potential at a low cost is a chance worth considering. The next few weeks could be decisive for Hooker's future in the NFL, and a trade appears to be on the horizon. The Detroit Lions may be making moves in the market to secure a cornerback this offseason. The need for the position became clear after the 2024 season, marked by a lack of depth on the roster and the possibility of losing Carlton Davis, currently a free agent. Davis, who started 13 games for the Lions last season, suffered a fractured jaw during the loss to the Buffalo Bills in Week 15, which ended his campaign prematurely. Terrion Arnold, the rookie and number 24 overall pick in the 2024 draft, has taken on a crucial role on defense, starting 15 games. The young player showed great potential by deflecting 10 passes and limiting opponents to a 61.2% completion rate on 98 targets, solidifying himself as a key piece in the defensive scheme. However, if Davis does leave the team, the Lions will need to find a starting cornerback to line up alongside Arnold. In this scenario, CBS Sports analyst Jordan Dajani predicts that General Manager Brad Holmes could take a chance on defensive tackle Paulson Adebo, currently with the New Orleans Saints. According to Dajani, Adebo is a name that could surprise in this free agent class. Here is perhaps an overlooked free agent who could be the jewel of the class. Paulson Adebo suffered a fractured femur in Week 7, but was having a career year before getting hurt. The Lions need to improve their secondary, and Adebo would do just that, wrote the analyst. The femur injury limited Adebo to just 7 games in 2024, but before that, the 25-year-old cornerback was on track for a Pro Bowl-worthy campaign. In his performances, he managed 3 interceptions, deflected 10 passes, and held opposing quarterbacks to a completion rate of just 59.6% on 57 targets. In addition, passers registered a rating of just 67.0 when attempting passes in the defender's direction. It is worth noting that Adebo had already shown his quality in the 2023 season, in which he started in 15 games. That year, he recorded 4 interceptions and allowed a completion rate of just 56.8% on 88 targets, in addition to a passer rating of 69.9. With these consistent numbers, he presents himself as one of the most underrated players in the 2025 free agency. Market projections suggest that Adebo will have a high value. Spotrac estimates that the cornerback will sign a 2-year contract worth $22 million, while Pro Football Focus predicts a 3-year deal worth $40 million, with $25 million guaranteed. These numbers seem viable for the Lions, who, according to Over the Cap, have an estimated $46 million in salary cap space. This budget would be enough to bring in Adebo and still meet other needs on the roster. Despite recovering from a serious injury, Paulson Adebo remains a young player on the rise with enough skill to solidify himself as a standout number 2 cornerback alongside Arnold. Should Carlton Davis indeed leave Detroit, General Manager Brad Holmes should target Adebo as a priority in free agency, taking advantage of the opportunity to bolster the secondary and elevate the Lions defense. Share your comment now, and thanks to all Lions fans. Remember to support the channel with your like and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Until next time, and a big hug.